This is the first statement. Scholarships are only for top athletes or straight A students. True? Or rethink?
Rethink it.
Rethink. And why?
Rethink. Because we see that there are tens of thousands of scholarships available for all educational pathways, all different areas of academic focus, all different kinds of accomplishments. And in fact, that's why on Tallo, we have more than 20,000 scholarships that are vetted, listed, available for young people. And half of them are for people outside of a four-year degree. A third of them are focused on professional certifications. And in fact, many are about other kinds of strengths and assets that young people have. Perhaps their interest in robotics, perhaps interest in a different kind of field, art, that they might be passionate about. And there really are a lot of opportunities out there that I think people don't know exist.
Yeah, and I think that's why I read this one first. I'm amazed at how many students automatically disqualify themselves in their own mind because they're not a top athlete or an A student. And you're absolutely right. There are a lot of scholarships out there. All right, here's the next one. A degree from a big name school is always worth more than one from a smaller school. True or rethink?
Rethink. I think what we're seeing in the evidence is that a degree that serves you with critical thinking skills, technical skill development in the field that you're interested in is going to be more valuable. There's been a lot of studies about the area of focus in your education over that elite name, and where you can get more experiences, the experiential learning that we discussed about, exposure to different kinds of people, and really a place where you can figure out what lights you up. That's going to be the thing that serves you best in your career. If that's at a big name, great. But if it's at a state institution, a community college, a trade school, a technical program, all of those things can provide a lot of value to young people, and they need to figure out what's best for them.
Yep. All right, what about this one? Digital portfolios and an online presence can open real doors for students.
I think that's absolutely true. And that's a place that we've really leaned in over the last 13 years that Tallo has been around. This idea that everybody has a talent, a skill, an ability, potential to be successful. And we just need to make that connection. We need to help them be seen in the process. And there is nothing better than the digital opportunities that emerge. There's more work from home opportunities than ever. There's more virtual education pathways that people can tap into. And there really are a ton of employers and opportunities in the workforce that people did not know existed that are now accessible through digital connections.
Yep. Now this is a good one. Your GPA matters more than your portfolio, passions, or personality. True or rethink?
Rethink. I think this is a place where, especially early on, many people feel like they need to do things like put GPA on their resume. And in fact, employers don't actually care about that. They care about the skills that you bring to the table. They care, again, about that potential, the way you're going to approach the work. There are places where a credential matters, like a college degree, but that's the outcome you're after. It's not your grade while getting there. So I would encourage young people to really focus on not what is the grade I'm getting, but what am I gaining out of this? And how do I make sure that that creates opportunities for me in the future? Employers are not going to look at your GPA. And in fact, I certainly would advise people after a couple of years out of school to not even include an indicator like that.
All right, here's the last one. True or rethink? There's no single path to success anymore.
I believe that is true. I think that the pathway to success is personal. It's going to depend on what you like, what you're ready for, what is available to you. Right? I mean, not everybody is actually going to want to live in specific places. They may have to stay at home, take care of a family member. They may love where they live, or they may want to get to a different place. And work is really varied throughout the country. I think that's something that is also not obvious to people, that in rural areas, you may find more density of agricultural opportunities that exist. You may find in Northern California that you have a density of technology opportunities that exist. And this happens really all over the country. Work is very local. And so you need to understand, who are you, what do you like, and what's actually out there that will help you meet your needs.
So, Allison, this has been terrific. Thanks for listening to What I Want to Know. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app, so you can explore other episodes and dive into our discussions on the future of education. And write a review of the show. I also encourage you to join the conversation and let me know what you want to know using hashtag WIWTK on social media. That's hashtag WIWTK. For more information on Stride and online education, visit stridelearning.com. I'm your host, Kevin P. Chavous. Thank you for joining What I Want to Know.